Good evening to all of you. Well, I was very persistent. I want to talk. Anyway, well, I hope I did not disappoint all of you with my green freak image. If this was not what you were expecting, I'll try to be a little bitter when I'm starting to speak. Okay, so my topic is on youth for climate change solutions. But let me start off with a few questions for y'all. Imagine that we all know that we love our houses, right? You all love your home, you love what is around you. So imagine for a moment that there was water all around you, and it kept rising and rising and rising. And what would be your reaction? To run, right? But what if you did not have any place to run? Just think for a moment what would be that feeling that you would have. Okay, so these people are actually feeling it. What if it was you on top of that roof? And this looks a little familiar, right? This was in Sri Lanka a few months back, when floods hit us really hard. And yes, they also need a place to live. What if there was no water around you? What if there was so much less water that you had to pay for bottles of water to live on? And what if it was so expensive that you could not afford to buy it, and you had to watch people die of thirst? Could you even imagine such a situation? These are just hypothetical situations that pop out of my mind right now. Or are they really? For us, maybe they are right now a situation of imagination because we do not really feel it right close to our house. Our house is safe, our dog is safe, our family is safe. But is it the case for everyone around us? I never thought about this for a long time, until very recently actually, until 2009, when I was in Copenhagen for the COP15 summit, which was Conference of Parties. I hope you have heard of it. And it was on the United Nations Climate Change Conference 2009. And there was a huge crowd. I was in a hall, and one of my friends from Maldives comes running. She's quite small, she's 28 years old, but she looks 15. And she's crying. I'm like, what's wrong? So the first thing that hits me is like, okay, this place is crowded, she looks small, maybe someone tried to kidnap her or something, and she's crying. So I'm like, what's going on? She's like, my country's not there, my country's not there, on the globe, and she's crying. I'm like, country's not there on the globe, which globe is this? You know, I'm like thinking she's going paranoid or something. And then it hit me, she's talking about this huge globe, which was in the hall of the UN Summit Hall. And I was like, what are you talking about? Why are you crying? Because this is a globe, right? And I mean, fine, so they missed a spot on the globe. It's just a dot somewhere there. And she's crying about it. And my friend, who was wiser than me, of course, he took a marker, took my friend, went with her, put a dot there, where she pointed out, where Maldives was supposed to be. And I thought, what a funny story. Maybe you think so too. Until it really hit me, that for us it's a funny story, because our country's there. But for someone who's daily experiencing the sea level rise, who's hearing that her country is not going to be there for a long time, it's not a joke. For her, it's a reality. And yeah, of course, this is what happened after the Copenhagen summit. Everyone was hyped up. Everyone thought something good was going to come up, that there'll be a binding treaty. And while all these demonstrations were happening, while dogs were put on people who were demonstrating, and at 2 a.m., while I could hear the police vans going hee-ho, whatever the sound it is, and people were running. I was actually scared. People were running to take cover because they didn't want to get arrested. There were a lot of people arrested in Copenhagen. It hit me that youth can do something, and that youth need to do something. So this is Maldives right now. So we need to take some action. And the question is it as simple as putting a dot with a marker? I wish it was, but unfortunately, it is not right now. So we need collective action. Before I start speaking again, I would like you to see, so who cares? And is it simple as putting a dot on a globe? Just keep on thinking while I talk about this as well. So what is the solution? What can we do? So as I told, while I was hearing all these sounds, while I was looking at all these overcrowded halls and all the negotiations that didn't come into anything, I realized that if we were mobilized in a correct way, in an organized way, if we could change the mindset, if youth could do something which was substantial, there was hope. So, a few images. Just look at them and just think of what comes to your mind first. So 1.5 Celsius, that's what people call for. So, what did those images make you think of? Did those images make you think of all the demonstrations we see on news in Sri Lanka with university graduates? Well, if it did, was it a positive image or a negative image? If it was positive, what was positive about it? If it was negative, what was negative about it? Well, if it was positive, the positive thing would be that we are getting the attention of the public. A board can grab your attention. If I'm here holding a board, you look at me, even if I acted crazy, right? And if the board had a message on it, you'll actually read it. So for those deaf people who do not realize the climate change is happening, that is one way to get through to them. So they go, oh, climate change. Or, oh, okay, climate change. Oh, something is happening, they're telling something here. But is that enough? Is that thought, oh, climate change is happening, enough? Is it going to bring anything substantial, productive? Just making a thought and then moving away. Because my friend who put the dot on the globe, you know, the globe in the UN summit. So he came to me last week and he was saying, you know what, Vositha, I just don't feel good if I don't do a march, if this energy is not used. And I was like, yeah, that's good. I mean, it's really good. But is it enough? So where does this sustainability come in? Change the politics, not the climate. What does it mean? So is it just youth and banners? Is a green freak with a banner enough? I don't think so. I think there should be a link between the demonstrations to the negotiations that are happening inside. And by just holding a banner or like a board and walking in front of a negotiator does not do the change because you get arrested. It happened to a lot of us. Not me, but for others. Because I wasn't actually brave enough to hold a banner and walk near the negotiator. Because it was not practical. It's good, but not very practical. So we need to get onto the policy stage. We need to realize how does the energy that is within us, this whole revolutionary energy within us, come into something which is productive and practical. And this was realized by youth who got together, the youth NGOs basically, and they were able to get through to the negotiators in 2010, where the Article 6 on education and awareness on environment of the convention was highlighted by the negotiators within the negotiations. And there are interventions that happen where the youth speak up and tell their stance. But is it enough as well? Is it enough just to speak for 1 month, get the attention of the negotiators? Where is the sustainability? And we hear that the UNFCCC summit that is going to happen this December might not be, resulting in a binding treaty all over again. So where does that leave us? Importance of grassroots level actions. So this is where everyone has to be mobilized within our country, locally, community-wise. Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's the basic. So how can we be part of the solution? It's by taking individual action, which would inspire others to do something. So is there only one way to do or create change? I don't think so. There's no one way, but there's many ways. But it could be your way. What are you passionate about? Is it law? Is it writing? Is it music? Is it dancing? It could be anything. But it should be your passion. And you need to think that this is something that has something to do with your life. That what you do impacts others. And it's not about just you. It's about a whole new generation that's coming up, your generation as well. So, what I can say to conclude is, I see it in a legal perspective. You might see it as a journalist. You might see it as a blogger. If you're a journalist, please keep writing. Create awareness. If you're an artist, please bring the message through to others. And mobilize locally and internationally. Because it's not just you, it's just not one country, it's not one region, but it's the survival of everyone. So to conclude, I'd just like to show you a video. So show you a video which was created by the youth in Cancun in Mexico. And it's about change. And you'll see that it's not one person, but the whole of the world that is speaking as one. Thank you.
They've been negotiating all our lives.
But while they've been negotiating, we've been growing.
And we'll make it happen.
Eliminando el combustible fósil.
Instaurer des énergies renouvelables.
Planting urban farms. Mananang poko.
Creating green jobs.
Expanding the youth climate movement.
Y nosotros lo vamos a lograr.
私たちは作り上げていきます。
We'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen.
¿Y ustedes qué van a hacer?